I just wanted to welcome you all and introduce, hopefully you've met each other, but Dorothy, Sally, Sammy, we're going to be talking through this walkthrough and it shouldn't take too long. Your company has asked that the three of you sit through a work skills qualification, and so two of the units are operate digital devices and plan and apply time management. So today we're just going to do a little walkthrough of everything, so it might be a little easier for you to get to. Just before I keep going ahead, could you please raise your hand if you right now consent to being recorded? So the recording in the back of the room can see that everyone has consent. Thank you. So as you can see, assessment BSB TEC 101, operate digital devices, and BSB PEF 202, plan and apply time management. Just a few work health and safety things to think about. If at any time you would like to use the restroom, just out the door to your left. If you need refreshments now or throughout, if you want to go and get a cup of tea or coffee, go right ahead. There's bottles of water also in the staff room. If you haven't already seen, there's a fire evacuation plan at the door. Our evacuation site is on the school oval. So if anything occurs, if you hear an alarm, I'm going to be your contact and I'm going to head out to the oval. Please ensure that you're comfortable. If at any time you need to stretch your legs, have a brain break, go right ahead. And how's your temperature? Everything okay? Do you need the AC on? All good? Excellent. So as you will see in this assessment, we do have an appeals process. I want to point this out, that if you're not satisfied with the outcome of this assessment, then you need to go through XYZ's policy and procedures. Okay? I'm going to give you all a copy of those policies and procedures before you leave today. Okay, our first assessment, operating digital devices. Of course, we're going to have some technical issues. Can everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
We'll get to the resources that we need. Okay? So we're operating digital device. In this assessment, you're going to need a computer, as you can imagine. I wonder if I could do this. Oh, look. So your resources for Okay, so what the assessment is going to consist of? Knowledge questions. There are 5 in the first part of this assessment, and then that is followed by a practical observation, which in the operating digital devices there's 20 practical assessments. I'll be observing you over the course of 3 weeks. So this isn't something that happens straight away. You'll have to do this 3 times for me to have you qualify as being competent. So just so you know, when we're working through this together, that's what you're going to have to do. So all you need to do there is fill out your name, your email, and then there's a declaration which has got to do with plagiarism. So just have a read through that. So your instructions will be read through the questions before the assessment. Just do 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And make sure to use your own words, as you know, when you're filling out any assessment. Okay, so here's some of the questions that we start here. You can't see it's blocked out, but on this side it says an N for not satisfactory and an S for satisfactory, which is what I'll be filling out once this is completed. So in the spaces below, just the numbers 1 to 8 to show the logical correct height, those kind of things. Just go through all the questions, answer to the best of your ability. If you have any questions over the timeline, so 3 weeks from now is 22nd of April, say, that's our due date. So I'll be with you, we'll be working through these tasks together, I'll be observing you, just so you know that this is what the assessment consists of, okay? So any questions that you have, I'll be available to you. Check 3 boxes that identify common organisational practices for naming files, and that's how I will assess you down there. Okay, so the practical assessment. You must demonstrate on 3 occasions in practical assessment A, B and C your ability to activate, navigate and deactivate a desktop computer, a laptop and an iPhone. I'm only going to go through a computer right now, but the questions themselves are similar for every device. Okay, so here are the questions. Prepare the workspace furniture and equipment to suit users and their ergonomic requirements, and that's including any peripheral equipment that you have.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes.
What's peripheral?
Oh, peripheral is, good question, any extras that are around your computer. So if you've got a printer close by or anything else that is a digital device, you just need it to be in a close location to your computer so that your whole desktop is, it's about being time management, not having to walk across the room to get anything from your printer, etc. Okay, basically you just work through all the tasks there, request assistance from relevant personnel for using the computer. Do you need to call a help desk? You only need to actually fill that out if you need to call the help desk. Make sure you can open and close, access files, download applications. So think about your Word documents. There's a question in there about using alpha and numerical keys on you. So if you've got a Word document up, you need to display to me, and I will observe you, putting alpha and numerical figures, icons into a Word doc. Alright, so there's the 20 questions for that practical assessment. Alright, now we're going to move on to the second unit. If it lets me. Same rules apply with the appeals process. I'm going to just talk through this if it doesn't work. Oh, it's working. Alright, plan and apply time management. BSB TAC 202. This is the other unit that is going to contribute to your workplace skills qualification that your workplace would like you to become qualified in. And I can assure you, after you've done these 2 assessments, you'll feel much more confident in the workplace. Okay, again, so your name, your email, please read through your declaration, and some of these questions. Describe the relationship between your own work goals and plans and your own company's goals and plans. Clearly that's going to be different for you all. You're going to have different answers to that question. So you just have to consider whether or not, if you're in line with what the company wants, positive productivity, happy environment, then those are the kind of things you're going to answer there. I want you to research 3 time management techniques. The Pomodoro technique, the Eisenhower matrix, and time blocking. Feel free to just do a little internet research there and fill in some answers. Just running back through your policies and procedures. How is a code of conduct and ethics policy, how are they relevant to you in the workplace? How does that make think about people being respectful in the workplace? How is that going to make your workplace a more positive environment? Okay, and again, we're going down to the practical assessment here now. There's your checklist are going to be done with a role play. Okay? So they're just simulated scenarios that you work together in pairs. I'll observe the outcome and decide whether or not, assess whether or not you are competent. So there's the S and the M there that you can see that I need to fill in. Seek assistance from colleagues. I'm going to see how you're working together as a team to do these tasks. Okay, so as you can see, it's all pretty straightforward. Any questions on appeal process, like I said before, I'll give you the policies and procedures. And that pretty much sums up the overall assessment. So has anyone got any questions? No? Fabulous.
No, thank you.
How did you go, Dorothy? Was that clear enough? I know that you had a little bit of issues with challenging hearing issues on your left ear.
Yeah.
And how's your hand? How's things going with your hand?
Oh, it's getting better.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I just want you to know if at all you need any extensions, you